Well, joining us now is our newsmaker of the day. Karun Chandhok is with us. Karun, you're putting up a brave front and a smile, but it must be a huge disappointment not to be racing in India's first ever Grand Prix.
Absolutely, Rajdeep. I mean, I think a lot of people know how much I've looked forward to this race. I've been visiting the site since April last year, and really the Indian Grand Prix is a huge thing for anyone connected with Indian motorsport. So it is disappointing, and I'm sure Saturday, Sunday is going to be fairly painful, but as you say, I'm trying to smile at the moment.
What was it that eventually led the team to decide that you wouldn't race? Is it purely because the other two drivers are more senior? Because some would have thought that this was a great opportunity to showcase Indian talent in front of Indian fans and indeed to the world.
Well, I mean, I think it would have been a great occasion for the fans. You know, the number of messages and tweets I've had over the last 6 months from people who've all talked about wanting to come to Delhi and see me race and have bought tickets for that even, you know, has been very encouraging. So it's a shame for them as much as it is for me. There's no doubt about it. The team, you know, they have two very experienced and older drivers on their books, and you know, it's a new team. We're only in our second year as Team Lotus, so they felt at this time they'd rather have experienced hands sort of guiding them at this stage of the season. Obviously, not a decision that was in my hands, or one that I'm very happy about, but you know, I have to respect their decisions and be a team player at this point.
When you say you've got to be a team player, that means that presumably on Friday you will test the track for the team and that you will be part of the process at least. So you'll be in and around the tracks even though you won't be racing that day.
Yeah, I often call this syndrome Santa Claus syndrome, where on Friday morning I get my Christmas present and at lunchtime it gets taken away from me again. But you know, I joined Team Lotus with a long-term view that I'd like to be racing with them full-time in Formula 1 in the future. Whether it happens in 2012, 13 or the future, let's wait and see. I still believe in that. I would still like to be back racing with them, and so at the moment I'll keep my chin up, do the Friday practice, gather as much information. Obviously, it's a new race, new track, so a lot of important information to be gathered on Friday.
And the ambition still remains very much the same, that Formula 1 is where you want to be. You want to get go with bigger and better teams. You've got Force India on the other hand also now with Sahara coming by. Would you like to be part of that? Do you believe that an Indian driver should be part of Force India, or that doesn't really matter?
I believe an Indian driver winning races and being at the front of Formula 1 is the most important thing. I'd love for it to be me. So no, to answer your first part of the question, my ambition is firmly to stay in Formula 1 in the long term and to try and be that first Indian to get on the podium.
The first Indian to get on the podium, how far away are we from that? How far do you believe? You know, a couple of years ago, we wouldn't even have thought that we'd have a Formula 1 race in India. It's come now.
Yeah.
How far are we from having an Indian, you believe, on the podium?
A lot depends on what opportunities come. I mean, I think Naren and I have worked extremely hard and sort of battled against the odds in a country which today there's a massive hype around Formula 1. As you said, 5 years ago, nobody even knew what on earth it was. So it will take a lot from corporate India to come up and back Indian talent and Indian drivers such as Naren and myself. And it will take a leap of faith from teams to believe that drivers outside of the traditional European ones can achieve things and can run at the front of F1. So it's going to be a bit of a convincing process, but I hope in the long term it's going to be okay.
Well, Karun, from all that I hear, that you will be one day that Indian who will be on the podium, and all the very best, chin up, and let's hope that that leap of faith is taken by the owners next time. Thanks very much for joining us. Karun Chandhok, who's done India proud by being part of the Formula 1 process.